Well, you're from Oklahoma, Maysville,
I
right?
grew up in Maysville, graduated from high school from Ada, which is close by.
Yeah.
You know, they're close towns. So, yeah, it's 3.5 hours from here, not too far.
Do you remember hearing anything about the Arkansas football program being so close in vicinity
Absolutely.
growing
I mean,
up?
we followed the Hogs. I came on an official trip here coming out of high school, took a recruiting trip here. So, knew, about the history and the proud tradition and the passion of the fans, and yeah, knew all about it.
You've watched it from afar, from Missouri, Oklahoma, being in Memphis. What's it like being a part of it now?
Well, I'm so thankful and excited to have the opportunity to be here. And I think anytime that you have a chance to work with like-minded people with the same vision and the same mindset and understanding that is aligned, that's the start of something special. And I'm so thankful for Coach Pittman and Mr. Yurchek on putting this team together. And I'm excited to represent Arkansas. I'm excited to represent the people that support this program.
You bring up Sam Pittman. You know, a piece of video that I saw was after the Georgia game this past year. You guys embraced. Where did that relationship with Coach Pittman begin? Where did that start?
I've known him a long time, but also, there's a respect factor that I've had on the way that, we have coached against him so many times. We coached together or against each other when he was at North Carolina and I was secondary coach at Missouri. We played against each other in a bowl game, and then now, going against each other in the conference. Just always his team or his group played so hard and so well coached. Fundamentally, they played the game the right way, and this always have respected that. I watched the way that we had to recruit against each other, and I didn't have a lot of success going against him because he's dynamic and has done a great job, and he does everything to a standard of excellence. And I've known him a long time. I've always gravitated towards him for a number of reasons, and it's built around the respect that I have for him.
So it's nice to be on the same side with Sam Pittman,
Absolutely.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, I haven't. My win-loss record against Sam's not very good, so it's good for him. And but it's been fun getting to know the last month, on this side of things with him, and my respect factor has grown even more.
I know you were one of his first phone calls. What was that phone call like when he wanted you to come join him here?
Yeah, I was honored that he would think of asking me to join his staff, and I had very strong conviction on wanting to team up with him, and for a number of reasons. I was glad it worked out, because you never know with timing and the way things go in this business. It's hard to get that aligned, but it's the right time now, and so thankful for that opportunity.
Being really early here, I think the second coach that he hired on his staff, being able to help build together that defensive staff, the input that you were able to give with the assistants around you, how do you like your defensive staff and how it all shaped out?
Yeah, I'm excited on what Coach Pittman has done and the group of guys he's put together, and I think number one, you look in our staff room, there's very low ego and guys that are all wanting to do the same thing, and it's pour into our student athletes, and they're in the business for the right reasons. We're working together, working well together, and that's so important, because it's got to be structured that way. And if it's not, if you don't have one of the 10 that's pulling the rope in the same direction, that's really hard. It's hard anyway, but he's done such a great job on putting that together.
When you come into a program like Arkansas's that has struggled for the past couple of years, and you might have players that have maybe a little bit of a low self-esteem, how do you look at them and really let them and help them buy into the fact that you guys are here to help turn that around?
You always look at the experiences you've been through, whether good or bad, and you learn from them. And the message I gave the guys that I had an opportunity to talk to on Sunday night in our team meeting, I don't take this the wrong way, but I don't care what went on here before. It's a blank sheet of paper, and let's go write our story together, and let's invest, and let's make sure our habits align the way they're supposed to. And it's going to take hard work, and it's going to take grit and strain and all the things, but it also can be and will be the most rewarding experience that these guys have been through from an athletic standpoint. So they are hungry. They want to have success. We're going to give them the roadmap on how to do that. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight, but I've got very strong conviction on what it takes and how it's going to get done, and we'll get there. And I'd love to say a timetable on how that's going to happen, but we need to take it one day at a time and make sure that our habits are where they need to be that day. We have enough work to do, and we also understand the urgency on how that needs to get done.
Well, how was it for you when you met with some of these guys? They're guys that you watched on tape. You've seen these players before, and now you're shaking their hands and meeting them as their defensive coordinator. It might be easy because they're not strangers to you.
It was a little bit strange because of just the way the schedule aligns. We played each other. I was the head coach at Missouri, and we play Arkansas the last game of the year, and then 2 weeks later, I'm walking in and I'm here. So I had a feel of this from going into the game plan, kind of some personnel that, awkward a little bit at the first. And there are a number of guys that I recruited at some point in some capacity over the last 4 or 5 years that are here. And but I'm thankful to have a chance to be with them. And we're excited to put this together. And they've had a good first week. And that's great. Now let's have a good next week.
How is it when you talk about recruiting, being from Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, the strengths you have recruiting in this area? You've done it before. You've got 3 kids that were at Missouri that came from Fayetteville High School. So you know this area. What's that been like? How easy has that transition been?
I think a number of things. If you look on building a roster, it all happens with recruiting and how that takes place, and it's all built around relationships, about being true and being honest, being real. This area for me geographically, you get into the state of Texas and Oklahoma and all the places that you mentioned, I've lived it, and I've been in some areas around, within a 5 to 6 hour radius of Fayetteville my entire life. And so the connections I have with high school coaches, that's where it starts, I think. And the number of times that we can get guys on our campus and they can see who we are and what we're about, that will align with the program that we're selling on the field, the way that our student athletes go to class, our graduation rate, and then the way that our relationships are built on love and honesty and accountability and all the things that are going to make us who we are. Those go into the recruiting part. And this is a tremendous institution, and it's going to be a great program. And there's a lot of guys that are going to want to be a part of it. But we got to find the right fit for Arkansas, and that's a fun part of it. And also, I've realized and figured out I'm a really, really good coach with really good players. So recruiting is got to be at the forefront of what we're doing.
I know that's really big, but what about the talent you have right now? When you've looked at these guys, talked to these guys, what do you see that you have and what you can work with, and how long maybe will it take to get to where you want to be?
Yeah, well, I've learned over the years that this roster, and they're my guys now. And it's our job as educators and as teachers to put them in position to be successful. And we've got to come up with a scheme that fits the skill set that we have. I'm not really sure on what that looks like today. I've got an idea now that being around them a week, kind of some of the things I think we can do at the start of spring, and then we'll build it from there. But we've got to make sure that we develop the ability for them to understand the scheme, and once they do that through preparation, then you become confident, and then you can play the way that you need to, play fast and play with confidence and play together. So it's an exciting thing for me to be able to structure and build it from scratch. And really, there's going to be things that we learn through spring ball that what we can and can't do, and continue to work from there.
What has been some of your favorite things about being a defensive coordinator from your past that you're looking forward to focusing on again?
Yeah, I think more than anything, the direct relationship, that an interaction with players, that's the one thing, and I really love being a head coach, but one thing that if you didn't watch, it could get away from you pretty quick on being around the guys because you're pulled in so many different directions. That was one part that I really missed. So back in the middle of that, it's been awesome. I think also putting together, and I did in some capacity, but putting together a game plan, and trying to put the scheme that you think will work in play and in place for your kids. Those are things I'm really excited about and looking forward to doing.
Do you remember when you decided you wanted to be a football coach?
It was really early. I mean, I don't know that grade school would be correct, but I always thought that I would enjoy in some capacity, staying involved with athletics, at that age. Growing up in Oklahoma, we followed a lot of the schools geographically close, but, it was always because of where we lived, ended up at OU games or on that campus, and early on had some really inside access to that program. So I got it early on a program that had a lot of success. And, I got into high school, and I knew for sure I wanted to be in coaching.
There are some players who would love to coach. They're good players, but they don't make very good coaches. Teaching is such a big part of that. What is it you think about yourself that has that knack to be able to teach the sport you love?
Well, I think you look, and everybody learns differently, and I know I do, and I did as a student athlete and as a player. You got to find out how you can reach your kids. You got to be a great communicator, and then you've also got to be able to admit I don't got all the answers. So it's us together trying to get it done. I think my family grew up. My mom is an educator, and you see the importance of that. You also understand that the ability we have through the game of football to be able to prepare these guys for the next 40 to 50 years of their life. I enjoy that part of it, and there's things that will get done, and for these guys to invest and buy in and come together to share the locker room, it'll never that relationship they'll never reach that point again, and those things all happen through communication and through education. And I'm excited that I've got a chance to be around another group of guys to try to influence them, to help them out and give them a platform to go be successful for the rest of their life.
You're here because you believe in Coach Pittman. Coach Brawls is here because he believes in Coach Pittman. What is it about Sam that is going to turn this thing around?
Well, I think there's not going to be anybody that outwork him. He is so genuine, and his belief on what this place is going to be and how we're going to do it, he's not going to stray from it. He's also had great success everywhere he's been. I don't think he's, if you go back from the beginning of time for him, he's not failed at anything he's ever tried to do, and this is not going to be different. So he is a really, really good people person. The kids are going to, I think, our players are going to love having an opportunity to play for him.
You've gone to a couple basketball games. You've seen how rowdy these fans can get. What do you remember your first basketball taking in, and just the hog calls, the atmosphere, Coach Musselman going crazy on the sidelines? What was those like? What was
It's
that
awesome.
like?
I mean, great energy, great passion, great support, and those are things that make the college experience so wonderful for our young men. And in our league that we play in, that's the way it should be, and that's the way it is at most places. And I am highly impressed with the folks that follow the Razorbacks, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
You ready for those fans to be just as rowdy inside that football stadium
Absolutely.
as they are in
We're
Budweiser?
going to need it, yeah. But also the responsibility we have to give them something to be that way for, and I look forward to that as well.
Well, Coach, welcome to the Hill, and we
Thank you.
appreciate the time to sit down
Yep.
with us.
You bet.
Thanks.